I gotta take this off. Thabiti just took his journal.
They paying y'all?
Nah, I'm learning. Yeah, they did say that last week. That's smart.
How you gonna get free product? Free promo. Live on location. Y'all already know what it is.
All right.
Good.
Yep, let's get it.
All right.
We live.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see we're in a new location. It's different. It's big. We got the legendary Atlanta's own. Went overseas to play Lil Baby freestyle in front of everybody, man.
He did go crazy.
Real deal, Holyfield.
Hey,
We got Thabiti Stephens in the building. Thabiti, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's happening? I like that intro. I guess I gotta start working on my own introduction.
That's smooth.
I gotta give it to you, man. And I want to tell you, just like we do it every time, every week, welcome to the Just Action podcast, where at the end of the day, it's just action. I am the one, the only. Holiday season, you're here for a reason. You're kicking it with the gang. Got my boy, Josh.
what's up?
Dre.
Yes,
It's a
sir.
pleasure to have you here, man. I'm excited. I mean, we've been together for, a little bit for today, but to actually get this on camera, real deal, man. Appreciate you.
I'm honored to be here. I met y'all in August, and
August 6th, to be exact. I remember the day.
And we set this up immediately, and I just liked y'all energy. I like what y'all were talking about. Y'all asked some, riveting questions at the time, and I think that y'all camera was messed up or something, so I ended up actually recording it for you.
I think that was supposed to happen. Normally that stuff comes off and it's like, hey, get your stuff together. We'll get back with you. But, I felt like that was real life a moment where it was supposed to happen.
No, for sure. I think it happened that way for a reason. And then what? I think I ended up connecting y'all with Kayla or Jessica on my team or somebody.
Got with Kayla. Shout out to Kayla.
Yeah, shout
Big
out
shout out to
Richmond,
Kayla.
Richmond native.
Richmond's own.
804.
Spelman grad.
Yeah.
She actually just got another degree, so she got multiple degrees. So I don't know how long.
Big ups.
I'm trying to keep her with me, but I don't know how long she's gonna stay around. But shout out to Kayla, man, for making this happen. But we met at Invest Fest, and I really just like the energy that y'all had going on. And I think y'all asked if I would do a podcast interview, and I was like, okay, sure. I'm thinking it's gonna be a Zoom, so I was expecting it to be in a week or so. And Kayla was like, nah, they want you to come. I was like, oh, where they at? And she was like, Richmond. I was like, all right, cool, bet I love DC.
Yeah. We get that DMV title, man.
Yeah.
It's too close. It's too close.
It looked out this time, though.
It actually helped out. He said DC. We can make that happen.
And he made it work.
And he made 2 hours away, but that's all love, man. And I want to get straight into it. I mean, InvestFest was big, and I think we'll probably harp back on that because that's where this all originated. But starting with you, doing Steps with Stephens and the message that you have back where it's like you're serving. There's a profit that comes with it, of course, but that attitude of gratitude where you're giving back. And even with the Fox 5 news channel, you say you guys were giving back 20% because the average was 10, right? So what kind of led you into that space where you wanted to serve?
Well, I think it just comes from growing up in Atlanta, right? So I grew up in an environment where, I'm not going to say I was the richest kid, but I wasn't poor.
Right.
We definitely struggled. But then I saw a lot of my peers that had it way worse than I did. And, as a kid, your moral compass is always right in the right direction. So I always just wanted to help that. And in the movies, I always saw people giving back and helping. And I just always wanted to be a type of person who could help. I always try to look out for the person, who had less than me or who didn't have as much that as I had. I was always that person taking up for them. So I kind of just saw people struggling, man, and wanted to help. And I wanted to be of assistance. And then I was really inspired by Tom's shoes at the time. Mm-hmm. And I saw how Tom was giving back. And I was like, man, he's in college, so he's not that much older than me. I think I can go ahead and do it. So I think just growing up and seeing people struggle, and I saw people succeed. I really just didn't think that was cool or right. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess it just came from wanting to help people and not being able to.
Yeah. No, I think that's big. And I think, talking throughout the day with you, getting to know you a little bit deeper, we have the same kind of compass in being the plug, and for the culture term. But if I could put you on, that's where we get the gratification from. So, and what you're doing now, we talked about what you did previously. Actually, before we even get to that, can you touch on the story that you told us at InvestFest with how Step by Stephens kind of dissipated in that story, kind of that failure?
Definitely. So, like I said, I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. The day before I graduated high school, I started a shoe company. I wanted to manufacture and produce my own canvas and leather shoes, sizes 5 to 14. So basically everything that Nike did, and I was 17 years old. So did that throughout college. Ended up partnering with my best friend Malcolm Connor. Me and Malcolm did a lot of the business, and then our other friend Broderick Harvey came in and helped on the creative side. So it was kind of like a three-headed duo. Grew the brand. We did extremely well throughout college. Black Enterprise, like you said, Fox 5. We're getting a lot of notoriety, made a lot of, top 30 lists, top business lists. And we were really just killing it. Our school was promoting us, sending us to all these business functions and, events saying, this company was started in Morehouse College, even though that wasn't the case. Morehouse definitely helped towards my matriculation, but, we had started way before. Yeah. But we were just kind of leveraging those opportunities, and we did really well. And at the time, it was just really hard just managing college, social life, being normal, and a business that was making, 6 figures at the time in college.
Right.
And I don't know if you all remember, about 2012, China had like a market dip. And at the time, my partners and I, we had all of our money, because we didn't have any credit. We didn't have any lines of credit. We were doing everything straight out of pocket, $25,000 bet. We're wiring $25,000. Like, we're not, at the time, not even thinking that we can get scammed. We're just literally wiring to a bank account, not knowing that we wouldn't get it back, just hoping to hear back from people, right?
Right.
Just doing all types of bad business, but we were 18 and 19, so we didn't know any better. So we had all of our money over in China, and I got an email from my manufacturers one day and said, "Hey, I'm sorry to inform you that our company's going under." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "Yeah, we don't have enough money to keep operating more than another week." And I was like, "Wow, that's crazy, because I just sent you guys a wire 2 weeks ago for however many tons of textile." And I was like, "Yeah, no problem. We didn't not use your money. We bought you the textile, but we just don't have the money to produce the product." So I was like, "Well, what is the solution?" She was like, "We can send you the textile." Dog, I'm a junior in college, right? I don't have any more money to get these products back. And I don't know if y'all ever shipped anything, but like shipping and lading is real. Like the price of goods coming overseas 2 months, like that stuff is real. Like COVID is real. Supply chain is real. Like these both, like it really matters. And especially when you're a business like mine, developing our own product. And we didn't have any means to figure out a way to one, develop a shoe. Because even if I got the textile, I couldn't develop the shoe. But it was more so I didn't even know how to get the textile. So I think even to this day, I mean, I'm pretty sure someone threw it away or used it, but we have like 10,000 tons of textile or something over there.
Yeah.
Right. So the business ended up, going under. Right. So at the time, I'm trying to build this thing back up, and I'm gonna go to Harvard, or I'm gonna go to Yale, or I'm gonna go to, whatever the next opportunity is, and that's actually kind of how I got into the whole Steve Harvey opportunity.
I was about to say, man, you know how to segue your own stuff. I was about to get right into it. So, like, you have this pitfall, and the question that we asked you at InvestFest was like, that biggest failure and the lesson that you learned from it. How'd you transition from that pitfall where it's like, I mean, that's big to lose your everything went under to, bounce back to getting with a prominent figure of Mr. Harvey, and then I really want to get into what you're doing on your own with the Stephens Group and things of that nature. How did you find that, I guess, that wherewithal within to be like, you know what, I got to get back up?
Bro, I mean, I'm pretty sure you hear this all the time, but honestly, I think it was just like, I don't want to say destiny or faith, but I didn't plan it. I can't tell you how to go get a job with Kevin Hart or Dave Chappelle, or I can't tell you how to align these positions or your skill sets to be ready for this one particular opportunity that presents itself, right? But I think for me, I think it's just like a story of consistency. Mm-hmm. So the whole time that I had the shoe company, I was still doing everything. I'm doing everything all the same. I'm doing my shoe company the whole time. I'm still doing my college life the whole time. I'm still doing my social life. I'm still giving back on my philanthropic efforts. And Mr. Harvey had he still has the Steve and Marjorie Harvey Foundation, and basically it's a foundation where they focus on at-risk youth, boys and girls, and they had this mentorship camp that's for fatherless boys during Father's Day weekend, and basically it's a 4-day weekend where they'll introduce boys to figures and take them out of their environment and introduce them to figures that look like them, and show them alternative means than what they're currently doing, and these are the worst of the worst. So Broderick, shout out to B Harv, Mr. Harvey's son, who actually introed me for the job, or got offered the job. Well, I guess we'll get to that later. But anyway, me and Broderick went to. He would go to the camp, and Broderick was being a counselor, and I was just hanging out, having fun. Like, think about it. We 20 years old. It's a camp with 300 kids, 17, 18. We hooping. We playing basketball.
Yeah,
It's fun.
It's laid back with that joint.
We riding 18-wheelers. ATVs, dirt bikes, just having a blast. And then Broderick started working, so, like, it wasn't a fun trip anymore. He ended up started working. But say all four of us go to camp and we at your house and you start working, all of us not about to sit here and just play the game. Like, I'm going to, oh, we got to do this. All right, let's go help you do it real quick so you can come back and kick it. And went the first year for fun, ended up working like a day and a half, got asked to come back the second year. And, of course, it was a no-brainer for me because at these camps, Mr. Harvey are putting these boys around, CEO at the time of Under Armour, CEO of American Airlines, Home Depot, CFO, all these prominent figures. So for me, I'm thinking that this is an opportunity of like, man, I have a company, I get to pick the brain of the president, CEO of Under Armour, boom, I'm going to go work. Yeah. And little did I know, like, in my attempt to kind of just, give back to the boys and just network with prominent people, not even just rich or famous people, just people, insurance agents, just people, men who are doing things that I want to do. I didn't know that I was actually building a reputation for myself, but amongst all of these prominent people, as one of the hardest working, smartest people that they ever met. And it came to a point where Mr. Harvey actually reached out to me, and was like, "Hey, what are you doing? You going to school, or, I'm about to go to Harvard, get my degree." Yada yada. I feel like I've told this story 100 times. He asked me, what am I going to school to do? Become friends with JFK's grandson kid, the network. Yeah. Why are you doing it? Because every Fortune 500 CEO at the time had went to school.
It's so like, crazy how you say that so, like, chill.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, you were going to Harvard. Yeah. It's just like, that could have been an option. Yeah. Like, that's how, bro, that's wild.
Yeah, I got into every Ivy League, for sure.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Scholarships or, like?
Yeah, full rides.
Full rides.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
So he offered me that. He's like, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to go to school. He's like, how much is it? I'm like, it's free, duh. I just said I'm going to go.
Yeah,
right. So end up leaving, and I get outside the gates. I'm like, yo, did this man just offer me like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Mr. Harvey, hey, Thabiti Stephens here. You mind if I come by tomorrow? And that's kind of really how it started. And originally, I just started like doing research and development, doing small-time stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think at the time they had asked for me to do research on franchises. Mr. Harvey's executive leadership at the time. Yeah. And me being who I was like a franchise. Like, bro, you're Steve Harvey. Like, why are we franchising? Like, you should be leveraging to do way bigger deals. So, me being who I am, I went 10 steps beyond than just going for a franchise. So at the time, I found this pizza chain. It was similar to a Blaze, regional, customized pizza.
Got you.
Was doing really well. Had some good executive leadership. End up negotiating a deal with them, in which it wasn't just a franchise deal. It was, multiple regions, leverage into the actual parent company for the reach and the expansions that he would bring to the company, and the right to first refusal to multiple regions. So we basically walked the deal to the point where I couldn't do anything else because I didn't have the authority or any legal power, and Mr. Harvey had to come to this meeting. Mr. Harvey comes to the meeting. The next day, Broderick and I go up to Chicago, and I later find out, like later that evening, Mr. Harvey was like, we presented him the deal. He was so happy about it. He was like, man, Broderick, like, I really need you to come work for me. Yada, yada, this deal is so great. And Broderick's my best friend, by the way. He was like, yeah, Dad, I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, that was Thabiti. Like, I was just here representing you, like, going through it. Like, yes, I helped, but that was really Thabiti.
Yeah.
And that's, like, the whole article that everyone went viral. Like, Steve Harvey's son turned down an opportunity to...
Afrotech?
Yeah.
The Afrotech article.
So when that came out, but that's, like, actually how it really began. And Broderick was like, nah, that was him who did it. And then I later found out that, of course, now we've done way better deals, but at the time, structurally, it was, like, one of the best deals that came through the company. And I was 22, and Broderick was 23.
Dang.
Yeah, and after that, it was just like...
Now it's on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He wanted me to be around, trusted more. And then I just started paying attention and taking advantage of, like, the opportunities. Like, you got to think, if you're working for the man, I'm going to see every opportunity that comes through the door, and I'm going to see everybody who's not taking advantage of it, or who's letting it fall to the ground, or who doesn't want to do something, or they have a great idea or a hit show, and I'm like, why aren't we doing merch? Why aren't we doing this? And then I also get to hear and get to, explain things that, they might be missing or might not understand. So it's just like an opportunity to like shine.
Yeah.
I just want to touch on that real fast. The biggest thing you said to me was out there taking action, right? And again, that's the preface of this podcast, the Just Action podcast. But
just action, only action,
only action, right? It's just, why aren't we just doing the things that we talk about? We have 1,000 different business ideas, adding stuff to the podcast. It's like, yo, even outside we were talking about it. Why don't we just do it? So this is a perfect testament to say to everybody out there as well, just do it. Don't wait. I'm not trying to be like Nike, but just do the damn thing, man. Just make it happen, because this is a testament right here. He's our age group. Like, ain't nothing out here waiting for us. We got to go get it. So just attack that, man.
And I try to tell people, too, that, like, I'm normal, dog. Like, I'm not famous. I'm not Elon Musk. Like, I know some people. I think I'm pretty smart, but I'm normal. Like, I went to Atlanta public schools. We all talked about earlier playing sports, and like I got relatable moments. I was not the starter. Like, I was not the star. I was class clown. Like, I'm the normal cat. I rode the MARTA bus, whatever y'all public transportation is. Like, I was cleaning my shoes and shoelaces too, dog. Like,
you was outside.
It's normal, bro.
Yeah,
it's just normal. So, I think I like to tell people, like, at the end of the day, like, it's hope in all this. Like, even all of us today, like, I know y'all thinking, like, man, we just getting started this small. Like, I'm coming in here, I'm telling y'all, like, I have businesses that I'm starting. Like, y'all, this is good, this is big. This setup right here, it's podcast making millions of dollars who don't have half of this.
Yeah.
So it's like y'all putting the time and the effort. Like, this is big, bro. Like,
this
gonna be, this gonna be big.
It's love.
I already know. We're gonna send some people here. Like,
No, we got stuff in the
it.
works already, and it's gonna be
y'all
be dope.
taking action now. I just need y'all to go ahead and start that Patreon.
Oh yeah,
and I need y'all to go ahead and get the merch.
Stay goofy.
Stay goofy, man.
You know what I mean?
See it.
Yeah.
The hoodies have come in. I know you cold out there, even though global warming.
Yes.
And while we doing all this, hey, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Share it, please.
I think we're about, where we at now? We moving.
123.
We're at like 123. And for the
12%.
123, you real as can be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a rapper, but I try. And if you're not with the 123, I'm trying to tell you right now, it's as real as it gets. Subscribe.
And don't miss out, man. Y'all missing out not being part of that 123, man. Go ahead and make it 125 if you want to survive.
Come
man.
on now. Hey. I like it, man. I like it. Well, I mean, going back to the opportunity, and I think it's big capitalizing on that, but also in between with the opportunity, having the right people to do the opportunity with. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys have a group of 3 when you started, you, Broderick, and Malcolm, but then it's like a younger rendition where we have 3 people really trying to make something work, make something shake. What's like a big, I guess, life lesson? I mean, we picking your brain, getting life lessons with everything, but like,
I appreciate it.
As the same concept of 3 people that's trying to make it happen and we just taking action on whatever it is. What was that life lesson that you learned going through it with people? Because we could all do it alone, but it wouldn't get as far as
it's hard
the
as hell to
mastermind
do
of
it by
teaming
yourself.
up and moving forward that way.
So honestly, man, and I wish I knew this earlier. And I'll honestly say I probably just learned it a few years back because, like, I'm 30 now. But we started this business. We was 19 and 18 and 17, So, the first thing I would say is, like, you got to really remove ego if y'all really want to be able to work, right? Because there are going to be a lot of times, y'all might get mad that he's asking all the questions today, but it might be a day where y'all asking all of them the next day. Or it might be something where, you make a connection with the biggest person in y'all business, that matters to your business financially, and they only want to deal with you. Yeah. And, they want to talk to all y'all. And it's like, you got the streets online. These are all hypotheticals, but it's like everyone has a role to play. And, like, at the time, I think we were all so focused on just, like, getting money, getting credit, doing the stuff that even myself personally, I can't even say for them. I say oftentimes there was probably situations where, I could have been more of a team player. Not necessarily, like, I never did no one dirty or looked out, but it would be times where it's like, oh man, like, I got an opportunity to go meet with the head of so-and-so. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do it for the team, which is technically I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to go take this meeting, and everyone's supposed to be fine with it because it's for the betterment of the team. However, I still could have done that and just called and be like, hey, yo, I'm about to go meet with this dude right now. Can you make it? Yeah. And even if he says he can't, or even if I know he can't, it's just like the level of inclusion, because at the end of the day, if everybody's not working like an owner, it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, y'all an engine, bro. Like a car is an engine. It don't matter who's outside. It don't matter if one little pinwheel, something's not right, it's not gonna work right, and it's gonna sound raggedy.
Yeah.
So like roles matter. At the end of the day, you know, equity don't matter unless you paying, like y'all selling the shit. It's really rev share and like opportunity, and you know, just if y'all all put in the same amount of work, but y'all gonna be good. Like, and no one owes each other anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And then remember, business and friendship are two different things. However, when you're doing business with your friends, it's 99% chance it's gonna get personal.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They'll say, you can say you're doing something that's better for the business, and they'll be like, but you know I got a kid, you know what I'm going through, you don't care about my friendship, what about that, right? So it's really hard. And like even me and some of my closest friends, like when the business fizzled out, like we've had, you know, rifts, right? And nothing intentional, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
You know, so just be prepared for that. But first thing I say, just take out the ego, man, and then everybody's got to work the same. Like all y'all got to work the same. Like if all y'all going to the gym at 5 o'clock doing 100 free throws, y'all free throw percentage of the team gonna be good. One person can't do all the free throw shooting because y'all still gonna be shitty.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I use sports analogies a lot.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm with it.
Nah, that
We know
works.
you take it serious from
Yeah,
fantasy
man.
football, dog.
But-
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fantasy football. Ah, man.
Hey,
I'm
Jimmy G.
gonna comment on this episode. Yo, Nate. Jimmy G for me
Jimmy
this
G.
week, man.
It's a big weekend.
Big week for Jimmy G. Let's go.
I love it,
On
man.
Monday,
But-
he got 40.
I do
Go
want to
ahead.
say something to what he said, because that's a conversation that we've had really early on in our journey, right? We've had long conversations to where Josh may seriously disagree with some, and for most podcasts, that just may be it, right? So it's like we have that no ego system going on as to where these two do a lot of the editing, but I shoot them messages when I can. It's like, yo, I'm locked in on this. I can't do this. I can't do that. So the communication's there.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're not doing it just because you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Whatever, you got shit going on. So I mean, I feel like as long as you're communicating, that's like number one. Because that
communication.
as long as that's in every relationship, business,
sure.
you know, love, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Like that's, and we've done a good job at that. Honestly, it's funny because speaking on that, we had like we wanted you to come here in October, and we were like, well, are we ready? You know what I mean?
wow,
And
yeah.
we were like, they had just
That was
gotten
a
back
serious
from
combo,
InvestFest.
yeah.
They just got certain, and like the mindset was like, do it now.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go, so I didn't have that energy.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need to get a couple episodes, like make sure that we know how to like talk on the mics together and stuff. And it ended up all working out.
Yeah.
But it's funny because like my mindset was so, I guess narrow at the time. And I started seeing the vision, and I was like, oh yeah, y'all are right. And they didn't turn on me or nothing like that. They were just like, all right, cool. If you don't see the vision, that's fine. We're gonna do it and just show you more or less.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, all right, yeah, like that. I felt like that was tough.
Yeah. But y'all both right. I mean, at the sense, because the truth of the matter is, like, y'all need an audience. Like, no one really wants to be the first episode on anyone's podcast unless you already established, right?
Yeah.
In the field. So that gives you some leeway. It gives you all room to practice and get to know each other cadence. And so you all right.
what you said,
But
yeah.
they're also right. It's like, hey, man, we don't know when this opportunity gonna come back. And I feel like I canceled once or something. I don't know if y'all canceled something.
We
canceled.
did, because I had to get to a wedding.
There you go.
But,
See, but a cancel had already happened, so who knows? Like, they write like, hey, man, we might cancel on this dude twice. He might be like, man, fuck this podcast.
Yep.
I dead ass, bro. I canceled once, and we had to do it. I had messaged Kayla. I said, Kayla, I'm so sorry.
Nah.
But we need one more. If we
Yeah.
can do this one more time. And it was
I remember
like,
I was-
cool.
I was like,
Once
bro,
she
we
said
gotta
it was
figure
cool,
that
then I
out.
said, yeah, no, we gonna make this shake.
Nah,
Cut everything out.
And the thing is, man, like, people don't understand how important relationships are, right? Or just like being kind to people. Like, one of my biggest things for anyone I hire is just like how you deal with people. If you want to work with me, it's how you deal with people. Because, like, you know, at the end of the day, for example, Kayla, once someone on my team, they with me. Like, if I bring you in, like, I'm with you. Like, what we doing? Who want to fight?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. So she's on my team. So it's also vice versa. If she's like, oh, first thing she said was like, they're super nice guys. She's like, they're gonna pick you up from the airport. I said, pick me up from the airport, boy. You got,
You got
I'm
the show
good.
for us.
I'm
sir.
good. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Big minivan.
And she's like, no, they're super nice. Seriously. I was like, all right, cool. And it's like because you were kind to her, like her vouch, you know what I'm saying? Her stamp. She could have told me it was a year from now. I would have been like, all right, cool, because like I already thought y'all cool, but she gave it a secondary stamp, bro.
Yeah.
So, like, just how you treat people, that just goes to show you, like, you never know what that goes for. But
Thanks.
both y'all was right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it ended up working out. It ended up working out perfectly. Like everything did. So yeah, it was cool though.
Shout out to the
y'all
universe,
first guest
man.
on that new content episode. What's that
Oh,
gonna be called? What's the new content called?
That's the day in the life jump.
The day in the
Yeah.
life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we'll find a smooth word for it.
So
That's
catch
coming.
me first. Which camera? Catch me first, man. I'm gonna be on a
There it is.
catch me
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
Took a minute. Catch me first, man. I'll be the first guest on day in the life.
There we go.
Is it on the
It's gonna be on the Patreon.
on the Patreon?
Speak it
So this
into
on the
existence.
network. First episode.
Yeah.
So you know that. By the way, this isn't a podcast. This is a media networking company. So I'm gonna
ADJ
be.
Productions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
That's love.
Say that one more time.
ADJ Production.
ADJ Productions, man. The network.
The network, man. Just the beginning, right?
Yeah, really
Just
the
the beginning, man.
I want to finish like this segment of personal growth with like the last one, then we can get into the money side, and I'll let y'all take over because y'all was having that talk,
Oh,
and
we
I
was
was
locked
quiet
in.
because like I needed the game. I was just soaking it up, so I'm gonna let y'all take that over. But in that personal development side, I know you say you're reading about 5 financial analysts, and you're getting into that, and we'll lead into that, going into that. But personally, like we were talking about audiobooks that you're reading now, what's that list look like that you're
Yeah.
kind of reading?
Oh yeah,
Bet.
got it up. We got it.
Yeah.
Ready.
I'm gonna need y'all to pay me soon.
Come on now.
So like right now, I'm reading the 12-week year. My homeboy Jaleel Coleman from North 13 to Create. Shout out to them. They do all the back end photography for like Earn Your Leisure and the Best Fest.
Shout out to them.
He's actually someone y'all should probably have on here. He's our age, a little younger than me.
Can you make it happen?
Oh, done.
Done.
Come on.
Hey man,
Say no more.
It's
does
all
the
about
sun rise in the morning?
Say no more.
Hey.
Done.
We'll get them here.
So he recommended that book to me, and it's basically just talking about how to condense things into shorter time frames, basically 12-week periods. Is based off statistics show that Q4 is people's most profitable quarter in most businesses. Why is that? Is because it's close to the end of the year. People are trying to meet benchmarks, and people typically try harder. So it's talking about like condensing. Instead of one Q4, have 4 Q4s a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, I like that.
That's hella strong.
0 to 1, Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel. Everybody fucking knows Peter Thiel.
Exactly.
And it's based off his I want to say a speech at Stanford, and it just talks about like the mindsets and the ethos of most of successful tech founders and principles of starting and scaling successful businesses. Chop wood, carry water.
I love that.
That's probably, I would say, it's super short listen or super short read. I'll say it's probably one of the books that's really just helped me change my mindset, man. It just talks about the process.
Yeah.
It talks about the process, and there's no skipping in the process. But it's about it takes metaphors about becoming a master, like sensei, and how that takes 10 years, and how you can't skip anything in that 10 years to be a master.
Right.
Every part of things that from chopping wood to carrying water all goes towards your matriculation, even though you might not see it. Those are the main 3 or the last 3 that I read right now. And
Okay.
then I read them Steve Harvey books
Come on
too,
now.
all of them.
Hey,
Must.
plug it in. Yeah, all of them. It don't matter which one it is. They got Mr. Harvey on it.
Yeah, if it
We
got
reading
Steve
it.
Harvey on it, buy it.
Yeah, come on now. Well, I love that side, and hey, this is the reins for y'all. I might pop in with a question
Yeah.
or two to figure it out, but you guys had some deep convos of just about investing, where money should go, how you should look at that stock. You know what? I'm just gonna let y'all do it. Take it away.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Jay.
All right, bet.
So, you started the shoe business, right?
Mhm.
It didn't fail. It was like outside, but it ended up failing
failed.
for you. Yeah, it ended up failing
It
for you.
didn't win.
Yeah. So my question really is, how did you grow, like, for lack of a better term, grow the balls really to just take the risk on yourself the second time? Because I mean, you got Harvard, and every single thing in our society says go to Harvard, right? And you'd already bet on yourself. You'd already put all your money into something. It didn't necessarily work out for you, and then to double down on it. How do you feel like you had like the mentality to do that?
Man, I think it's just like where I come from, bro. Like I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, seriously, and it's like, do you ever have that feeling that like it's more for you out there? Like I feel like
100%.
I've always had that feeling. So even when I was a kid, I'd go to like my mom's friend's parent house, and I'd be like, I don't want my house like this. I don't want to be able to get to my places easy. I don't want to be this close to a subdivision or a train, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I think it started there, and just wanting more. And I've always wanted more. And I think it's just, I've always followed people, I was always inspired by like the Rockefellers, the Carnegies. As I got older, like the Puffs of the world, the Herman Russells. And when I started like reading the stories, I realized it's risk. Like, you don't get anywhere without risk. So you say it took balls to start the company. I say it took like would have took balls not to, just for what I wanted out of my life. Like, how can I want more if I'm not doing more, trying to get more? So even from a young age, it was like I've always been an entrepreneur, dog. I sold candy in school. I sold hot chips. I sold juices. I sold T-shirts, screen printing through events. You know what I'm saying? So I think that part was always in me, and it was like, when we were growing up, everybody wanted to be a millionaire before 21. Like, I don't know what movie, I don't know where that came from, but everybody was like, bro, I need $1 million before 21. And I don't know if it was social network. I don't know if it was because just growing up in that tech age, but for me, it's just like it was a no-brainer. Like the first time, and then the second time, it was more so. I don't think it took balls at all. I think it's just common sense, and maybe common sense is not that common.
Not at all.
But it was go to Ivy League school, come out. The real conversation, bro, was this. He said, boom, what you about to do? I'm going to go to school. How much does school cost? I said it's free. He said, how much would it cost if it wasn't free? I don't know, $150,000, $200,000. I don't know. I wasn't looking. It was free.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, cool. What are you going to school to do? Meet JFK and so-and-so's grandson. Okay, cool. Let me ask you this. How much money you gonna come out making? The median income was like $147,000 after 2 years. Cool. And I qualified for an executive MBA program because I had a business that generated over $100,000. So that's, I think, 8 months to a year. So I would have really sped through it, right?
Yeah.
So for me, and y'all tell me what y'all would do, because this is the question I'm gonna ask y'all.
All right.
So if you could make the same money, get a better network without wasting 2 years of your life, would you do it?
100%.
No brainer.
That's
Well, let me tell you what my dumb ass said. No. I know. The answer was supposed to be yes, and I said the opposite. I was like, nah, I'm good. And that's what I walked out and had to call him.
Yeah.
But that was the real question. But by the time I had got to my car, like, I had ran that thing back like 15 times, and I was like, dog, I am tripping. Like, this is a once. School gonna always be there, right? And then, like, I don't know if y'all noticed, some schools, after they offer you a scholarship, like you're in their system, you might get a scholarship offer the next 2-3 years without even applying.
Yeah.
So I knew I had the opportunity to always go to college, but the opportunity to actually work for, like, Steve Harvey is a blue chip brand.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine the opportunity to do exactly what I would have been doing for myself for a blue chip brand. And what opportunities is that going to bring me? And all I have to do is be honest and humble and, transparent with him. And then it's my best friend's father, too. Like, first of all, I never thought about working for this dude. Like, what type of cat wants to work for their friends?
Friends.
Yeah.
I never.
Dynamic.
That's not why I'm cool with you, bro. Like, I'm cool with you because we both going to the gym together, and you broke your hand when someone tried to punch me on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like, you my man. You know what I'm saying? So
Y'all locked in.
yeah. So, but it helps because it's like now it's another level of trust, right? It's my best friend's father. Like, I'm never going to, like, I love you like I love my best friend. Like, I ain't going to let no one do you wrong.
Right.
Like, probably to my own detriment at times. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was it. It was like, it wasn't balls, bro. It was what y'all saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. It was easy at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So touching on that, right? The path you took from going to school, taking that phone call, going back to work for Mr. Harvey, and then how did that transfer to you? Making some investment decisions for him. Talk about that.
Great question.
Yeah.
So, at work at the time, like, see, that's when he had the hardest working man in Hollywood line. Like, he's been deemed that for 5-7 years.
Yeah.
So when I first started working for Steve Harvey, the first 61 days we worked straight. It wasn't any off days. It would be 3 radio every morning, 3 days Chicago, film the talk show, come 3 days in Atlanta, wake up Tuesday morning, fly to Chicago, have a day off or whatever, do it again, but it's the day off in the city you don't live in. We did it 61 days, fly to LA, fly to Mississippi, fly to wherever we're going in the world. And at the time, Mr. Harvey would be like, I'm flying with him on this jet, right? So he'd be like, what are you doing? So at every airport, every FBO, they give you free newspapers. So, and they give you free everything because it's a $40,000 flight, right? But they give you free newspapers. So he'd be like, man, why are you so excited? I was like, dog, like, I got the Financial Times, Bloomberg, New York Times, Washington Post, all right now. So I'm grabbing all of them, and I read business for my own benefit. Like, whenever I wake up early in the morning, whether it's I love physical, but whether it's online, I try to read 5 business periodicals, at least 5 to 10 articles in each one, and it's just like how I get different opinions on stories. Different writers have different cadences, different stories, do different stuff, and I always try to do one international. It's like an Al Jazeera or something BBC or something from London.
Okay.
And he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm reading like the papers for like markets and stuff, you know, like." So what do you mean? Like I invest. He's like, "You invest your own stocks?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "Because every rich person in the world has stocks." Yeah. He was like, "Man, I lost a shit ton of money during the crash. Like, if I gave you some money, would you invest it for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" But what I gotta think, like, I don't think it's balls. Once again, I'm so young, I didn't have any fear. I'm too young to have any fear.
Yeah.
All right, like
that risk is low.
It's not even. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? It's like I ain't got nothing to lose, no way. Like I already done lost a few $100,000 on my own company. So what you want to do, right?
Go ahead, let's do it.
And I told him, I said, you know, I'm gonna invest like a young person, tech, very high risk, high reward. He was like, yeah, I don't care, man. It's like $40,000, so he gave me $40,000. And after the first, yeah,
I know damn well they want 40 by that face.
You know, I was 40.
No, I'm saying it
Oh,
won
yeah,
40 when he got
damn
it back.
sure wasn't.
It won 40 when he got it back.
No. So he gave me the 40. And my first buy was PayPal.
At what price point? If you,
whatever, like a week after the IPO.
Okay,
So what was
early.
it, like 15?
Yeah, it's probably
15, 18?
anywhere around there.
So
10 to 20.
yeah,
in that range.
it might have been 13. So
It's
PayPal
a
that.
lot higher than
They had a crazy bump. And then in a month, I was like, look what I did. So he gave me some more money. Boom. We had just closed the deal with Match for Delightful.com.
Yep.
And I was like, well, we're doing business with them. You should go in. Boom. You should negotiate discounted shares, and we're going to match whatever you buy on a private market. Match was like at $13.57 or something. And that was at the beginning. And we've added and trimmed all these positions since then, of course. But got into that. And then Adobe and Square and Facebook had took me on out of there.
Once you say that.
And these are all like before Pops. Yeah.
That's
before
crazy.
they Pops, and then got into like, I had a shoe company, so did Alibaba.
Yeah.
I probably, honestly, like we've invested and hold and added and trim. Like we don't day trade.
Yeah.
So like even like I tell Ian all the time, shout out to Ian Dunlap.
Big shout out to Ian.
Shout out Ian Leisure.
Yeah,
the
man.
master.
Quick question. I'm
Red
gonna
Panda.
keep
Panda.
asking. Is there any way we can get Ian up here too? Like that's the guy. Like,
Yeah, he's the one.
Yeah.
He's the one out of two. I don't know. Man. I can ask him.
for sure.
I can ask him. He literally, anyway, I'll ask him.
Okay, yeah, we'll get a
But,
conversation going.
Yeah, like for probably 40 to 80 super solid trades over the course of 5, 6 years.
So,
But these are ads, like not like the trades is like we're not talking about like adding shares or trimming.
You still running that? Like, are you still doing that?
So it got to a point where I had too many the AEM of a little too much, you know what I'm saying? And when you got a fiduciary.
How big did it
say?
get
No
to?
comment. You know, we're not a fiduciary, man. No comment.
No comment.
What if we bleep it out?
Yeah.
I had that.
I'll tell you after you get off,
For sure.
I'll tell you after to get off camera, but I'll tell you
for sure.
it was good enough to we transferred it over to so people can spend a little bit more time on it, and then also my roles and responsibilities in the company start growing, right? Because after I got that trust with the money, then I started getting trust other places.
There it is.
And now now we're taking this money and opening up a family office. So now we got the Harvey Ventures family office.
Yep.
And then from there, now we're doing early stage Uber, Lyft, Bloom.
That's awesome.
SoFi.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I was hoping you wouldn't know about SoFi so I could put you on.
He was
but
ready
I
to
was
put
like,
you on.
I was like,
We
no,
had that
right.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, appreciate it. I got some more. Yeah, let me get a discount. I got you.
As long as you hold them.
Hey,
Because the thing about it, I was saying, look, if you get them shares, right? Every time you go, you check your portfolio probably at least 3-4 times a week. So every time you go in there and you see that line, you're gonna be like, that was from the people in Richmond.
SoFi.
You know what I'm saying? Just Action Podcast.
I love it, man. Let's set it up. We're in SoFi. But I say that to say it was just like a transition. And then my roles and responsibilities started picking up as far as just like strategy in the States. And I was chief of staff at the time, so I'm working with all his other executives and all his other companies. And like the things people don't know about Steve Harvey is like he has a shit ton of subsidiaries, bro. And then like in shells that people would never, y'all would never find, y'all would never know. And like I might, if I'm fired after this, he's because he ain't want y'all to know. But it's like, he's really on like some Al Haymon. Like he doesn't want people to know what he's doing. He doesn't want people to know how he's moving.
Yeah.
He wants to stay, unknown. Like if it was up to him, once he gets, $1 billion, he says he's out of here. No social media, no TV.
Gone.
And I believe him.
Yeah.
So, but I just learned from that.
Billy.
So I didn't really have the time to really manage it for real anymore.
Yeah.
Still don't, but I still help and I still got a good portion that I manage.
Yeah.
But not the whole thing.
That's crazy that you say that, because I heard like most people with like that amount of money, they don't want anybody to know.
Yeah.
Like y'all think Forbes is real?
Hey, man.
It's a Forbes on top of Forbes on top of Forbes.
You see
Like,
people hit the lottery and they.
Hey man,
you know what I'm saying?
Forbes is not in the Middle East, dog.
Yeah.
How the Forbes list real and there's none of the families from the Middle East.
come on, man.
Hey, speaking of the Middle East, I'm telling you, you know how to segue it, dog.
It is
Tell us a little
crazy.
bit about Melt, bro.
Please.
And I
That
know
segue
it's
is
something
crazy.
that we know because we've been doing some research
Yeah.
on you, and I got a little bit of insight on it. But for people that have no idea what Melt is and they think we just talking about melting chocolate, like
Okay.
what is it?
So when does this episode come out?
Next week.
Next week.
Okay, so
You be-
when this episode comes out, all right, bet.
Yeah.
So like I said, Mr. Harvey has a large number of subsidiary companies or organizations. And one of my roles in his organization is managing the international business. I do that with our CEO and general counsel, Brandon Williams. So Brandon's probably the plug. One of those. Remember I tell you, it's a lot of plugs in the world that people might not never know who probably is like a real mover and shaker.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
Yeah. I want to be like Brandon when I
He
go.
one of them ones.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like a level we trying to get.
It's levels.
Trying to get
It's
to him.
levels we all trying to get to. So I do
Yeah.
a lot of my work with Brandon, man. That's my guy, Morehouse grad, Southwest DeKalb, Atlanta dude himself. And Mr. Harvey it was 2018. We were in Botswana at the Diamond Council. De Beers. I don't even know. De Beers headquarters is in Botswana, and most of the world's diamonds come from Botswana, are exported out. So we were there speaking, and Mr. Harvey had a meeting with the president of Botswana, and he just got out and was like, call Brandon. And I was like, okay. Call Brandon. And he's like, hey, Brandon. He's like, yes, sir. He's like, I want to do TV. I want to do Family Feud in Africa. He was like, excuse me, I want to do Family Feud in Africa. All right. And Brandon's like, all right, and cool. And he hung up. And Brandon is like, calls me. He's like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, this Mr. Harvey really said that's like, bro, he's dead serious. And he was like, my boss is one of those people. He doesn't tell you like, hey, this is how you do it. He doesn't care. He don't take no for an answer. This is a guy who lived in his car for some years. Like, he doesn't take no for an answer. How do we need to do something? That's if you are who you like I think you are, you gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Get it
So
done.
Brandon, I commend Brandon to this day, like negotiating our deals with Fremantle's, the people in London who own it, and our partners. He like negotiated the contractual parts. I was a part of it. He really handled it.
Yeah.
But ended up securing the rights for Family Feud Africa. So we started this company Melt, and originally Melt Africa was to bridge the gap between like African Americans and Africans, and doing business that way. Bring entertainment and kind of just help the continent as a whole.
Okay.
End up doing Family Feud Africa. Brandon's an EP on that show. I'm an EP. Mr. Harvey's an EP on that show. Ended up being the #1 show in South Africa and Ghana for 2 years in a row.
There it is.
If it wasn't for COVID, we'd probably still be doing it. But Melt kind of formed that way. And Melt Africa, the thought was, we get into the continent by doing TV, right?
Yeah.
But once you get into the continent, people start seeing you there to actually do business. Now all the business people and people start coming. So I'm happy to say that Melt's way just beyond TV and entertainment. We have opportunities in businesses and things from infrastructure to oil and gas to last mile delivery, looking for agriculture, imports and exports. Of course, that's where everyone really wants to be in that continent. So that's looking for the goal. But Melt Africa is doing business in South Africa, Botswana, Ghana. We're having conversations in Nigeria, Egypt, and the Congo right now. So that's Melt Africa. And then it's kind of funny how my boss works. He doesn't believe in no. So one day he's like, man, I love what we're doing in Africa, but I also really love the Middle East. Matter of fact, let's do Melt Middle East. Boom, hung up the phone. So now Brandon was like, all right, is he joking or what are we doing? So a few years back, about 2 years back, 2.5 years back, Mr. Harvey said he wanted to set up a company in the Middle East to focus on transactions between Eastern and Western world. So basically facilitating deals, so connecting the biggest brands and government and private organizations with the biggest brands, celebrities, and people over in the in America,
Right.
and bridging that gap. So we set that up for him about 2 years ago, and since then business has been thriving. So next week or this week, when this comes out, I don't know what day it comes out. We actually, one of our clients is the F1 race in Abu Dhabi. And we work with the Abu Dhabi government and officials out there. So we're doing a celebrity golf tournament out in Abu Dhabi. Next week we're doing a gala at the Louvre Museum out there, and then we're going to take all the celebrities and people down to the F1. And then at the end of the day, our real goal is kind of just to help, spread positive propaganda and do business. Yeah. Like they want good people over there doing business. It's the safest place in the world, so they want to be like a place. It's probably the most diverse country in the world too, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. But they want people to come over to do business, man. And we've set up over there, and it's doing really well, man. And we're taking a lot of people over there next week, and the hope is, anybody we take over there is to get them set up and get them doing businesses, right? So if we take more celebrities over there with us, or business people, or whether it's real estate or trucking or drones or agriculture, to help help their economy, but also help their businesses grow and scale. So that's awesome. Yeah. So I love the Middle East.
You do everything, man.
That's the money man.
Honestly,
the money man right there. So
yeah,
I had a quick question regarding your experience over in South Africa and the Middle East, right? Because a lot of our listeners, even us, we were talking about it. We don't have much experience there. So outside of business, could you quickly touch on how that life is over there? And it's not, like you said, it's not really that different in some areas than it is over here.
Yeah. So to start on Africa, man, I recommend everyone goes there. Yeah. And then if you're a person of color, like someone who's black, I definitely recommend you go there. There's no reason you should go to Europe before you go to Africa. Everything they have in Europe, they have in Africa, except for the fancy old ancient architecture, because, read y'all a history book, you'll know why. But as far as South Africa, man, I recommend it for everybody. It's one of the first places you should go. It's basically like going to New York. People speak English there. You can use U.S. dollars. Your credit card's gonna work. You can hop in a taxi. But then $1 is 15 rand. Yeah. So, some of the best restaurants in the world are Johannesburg. It's the financial capital of South Africa. Cape Town is one of the most beautiful coasts in the world. Basically, think of Miami meets L.A.
Oh wow!
Oh my!
Yeah.
Jesus.
Eating on the water. Some of the most beautiful people in the world. No matter some of the most kind people. Food's amazing, and $1.15. Did I mention that already?
Yeah.
So $1.15. So once you get over there, it's gonna be amazing. And then also, it's not all dirt roads. It's major cities. Some of my favorite restaurants, some of the best hotels I've ever stayed in my life are there. They have islands, they have beaches. Zanzibar has beaches. Mauritius has beautiful beaches. You must go to Africa. And then also think about this: most people in the world are in Africa. So everyone's always concerned about being a major star in America. Nigeria has 200 million people. America has 365 million people. One continent has almost as many people as all of America. So people are always so focused. Imagine people if you can capture those markets. Imagine all those people over there that you're not capturing. It's a statistic that said I don't know, 80% or 75% of the population are 25 and watch TV and use all their stuff from a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? So just think about all those eyeballs. We're talking about eyeballs. Let's think about eyeballs.
Exactly.
And think about this. It's the only continent in the world that doesn't have to import goods.
Everything's there.
Everything is there.
Everything is there.
However, it's one of the only continents in the world that doesn't have transcontinental trading. A lot of the train tracks aren't connected. So there's so much opportunity and room. And you can go buy a house over there for. Everyone over there has maids. Everyone over there has help and workers because that's normal. Yeah. So you go over there and really get spoiled. That's Africa. And then the UAE and the Middle East, man, Dubai and Abu Dhabi, probably some of my favorite places in the world. Fun, turned up. And y'all know me, I know this is a business and this is my business me. Yeah. This is my business voice. But the truth is, you're going to go have a blast. Don't bring any drugs over there. But if y'all can't go a week without drugs, take y'all ass to rehab.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Get y'all some hookah, go to these restaurants, go to these beaches, and it's going to be the nicest stuff ever. I took my fiance to Dubai last year for her birthday for the first time. She was walking in the mall. She'd have been a lot of places all around the world. She walked out the bathroom it is so nice. I want to get in the mall bathroom. I was yeah. But it's I really just preach to anybody, just go get exposed. Yeah. If it's not Dubai, if it's not South Africa, go get exposed. You got to leave your home city. You're not going to grow staying where you are. You have to travel. You have to see the world because You can Google what it's like to fly first class, or you can Google what it's like to swim in the clear blue ocean water. But until you do that shit, it doesn't matter. Like, are you hiring somebody who's read how to fly an airplane, or are you hiring somebody who's flown the airplane?
That experience you can't.
Experience, bro, it's priceless, dog, and it's gonna change your mindset and the way you think, and like the reason I probably think the way that I do is like I've seen so much, I see so many opportunities, and then I meet these people who are so amazing. And then like the craziest part of it all is when you meet the person who you thought was the greatest person ever in the world, and you meet them and you be like, man, either one, you're really not nothing, or two, is like, bro, like you're so normal, you're me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, wow.
That's strong.
But that's Melt. That's what we're doing.
I love it. I love it.
meltmiddleeast.com, meltafrica.za.co. However, the South
We'll
Africa
put it in
website
the
looks.
description.
We'll put it
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that's up there.
Does somebody dub over like Family Feud and do it in different languages?
So how TV works, bro? So that's So the reason TV and like I told y'all should have a media company and not a podcast, because media is power.
Yeah.
So Family Feud's a 30, 40-year-old entity. And how they do TV shows, right? This is a format. Family Feud is what you call a format. If you create a format, especially a game show format, you're rich forever, right?
Yeah.
Think about this. A format is just a way that you play the game for 22 minutes. They create that format, no matter who the host is. If it does numbers on American TV, whatever your point is, does a 0.1, 0.2. All right, cool. Now, not only are you selling that show, you are the creator. You're getting paid for the show you're EPing. You're selling it to the network for it to run, and you're getting paid for every season. All right, cool. That's America. Well, dang, now we can do one of two things: take the American show and sell that same show to all the English-speaking countries, which is great, which is what we do to maximize our money in syndication for cheap, you know. But then, if we really want to kill it, we're going to make a Canadian version with their own host, and we're going to sell them that format. And we're going to go to Napty and Cannes, France, and sell it to Singapore, and we're going to sell it to whatever. So now, Family Feud has licenses in I think any country can license it. And now, if I'm the owner, you're paying me a $1 million licensing fee per year, just per year, just to use the name of my show.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing that plus selling my show. So if our Family Feud is like $152 million, $100 million a year entity.
I'm loving these numbers that you're saying right now.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Loving these.
I always wonder how that worked, because like America's Got Talent, and then you got like they have like 1,000 different versions of it.
Yeah, Simon Cowell's paid a lot for all that.
What about shows that died off? Like, what happened to
To my Idol?
No,
Something like
House are Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, stuff like that. Right?
So what happens to it?
Yeah, like when they die off, or
So
anymore.
whoever owns it or created it still owns it, and then that's why shows reboot. Like a lot of times they're gonna take some years off and they're gonna reboot it once. Like a wise man once told me, nothing in Hollywood is really new anymore. Like everything's really been made. Like how often Avatar something like that is new, but everything's really being duplicated, remade, rom-com, kind of like. How many Star Wars, how many Spider-Man, Batman, like
Marvel,
they keep making the same stuff, right?
Right.
So the thought is, if you own that in 4 or 5 years, you're gonna try to rerun it again. Who's smarter than a fifth grader with a new host? And guess what? Whoever wants to do it, they got to buy the rights or license the right from that owner. So if you come with you pay forever, you still own it because you lease it, like it's licensed.
So it's low key like an NFT.
Yeah.
That's hard. It's like, am I missing it?
No. You can.
Because the owner of NFTs, you're holding it. So every transaction, you get a piece of it.
They could do an NFT with a licensing agreement, and then essentially you could run that on the blockchain. You could maneuver that to the blockchain 100%.
If you was gonna get there somewhere.
Yeah, if you want it, hey, that's a good segue. So do you mess with NFTs at all?
Yeah, man. I mean, y'all
saw it on your
y'all
Apple
ain't do
Watch.
y'all. Yeah, man. Solana Monkey Business, man. Shout out to Nam. You know, you my boy. You know, I still believe. Y'all haven't done y'all research, man. If y'all didn't know this, so Steve Harvey released the NFT 2021 January on Ethereum. Tested it out, did okay, sold some, but then in September, he really got big in the Solana ecosystem in the first Solana summer with Solana Monkey Business, and convinced him to do some investments in NFTs. Him being an older investor, of course, he was cautious.
Yep.
But what you all, y'all really did. Drop this in the episode. I want the B-roll on this part right
Drop
here.
it in the episode.
Drop this in the episode.
Yeah.
y'all should Google like Steve Harvey Solana monkey business. Like the day Steve Harvey bought, what we should have done is load up on a shit ton of Solana, but we didn't think we would move the market cap.
Right.
Steve Harvey bought some Solana monkeys and made it his profile picture on Twitter, and it jumped the market. Like it took Solana to its all-time high at the time of 215. Solana's all-time high was 153, and him posting it, the traction that it made on all the marketplaces, people found his wallet, saw that he really bought these monkeys. It moved the market cap, what, $70-something, $80-something dollars.
Crazy.
Yeah, so that's just the price. So who knows what it really moved it.
Right.
So yeah, y'all can go fact check that. Decrypt and everybody did stories on it.
That's wild.
Yeah, so we've been big in NFTs. FTX.
I was just about to say, amidst everything that's going on right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, we was at Crypto Bahamas. Like we've taken a lot of meetings with them, and the thing about Steve Harvey, man, once again, like people cut this up. Like he's one of the most diversified investors that I think I've ever met that people will never know, and he doesn't care to tell. Like he doesn't care to tell. He just wants the money.
Yeah.
But y'all look at his life. Hello.
I mean, he's got so much money he can diversify like that. It's kind of like Shaq too. You know, he's in so many different things. Like if you got that much money, and also, how many people are they running into that have an idea? You know what I mean? How many people you think come up to a Steve Harvey or a Shaq like, I got this new business, man. You gotta, you know what I mean?
Even you.
But that's the beauty of it, right? It was like, what was the opportunity cost of like taking the job with Steve Harvey versus going to Harvard, right?
Yep.
If I could, have a chance to like be a part of some history. Like I'm working with someone who's going down to history no matter what. So my main job is to work hard as hell, just stay apart and help him and contribute to that history, right? So many times he helps carry people up. My main job is like, how do I help you? If I focus all my time, the first 5, 6, 7 years of my job, even to this day, it was only focused on how I helped him. And then I didn't even realize. I turned around and realized all the blessings that he was putting on my back or put it on me. Yeah. Not realizing he's saying, hey, you want to work with me? You got to talk to BD or you got to do this. And then I didn't know what my work ethic was building in, you know what I'm saying, in the community.
Right.
So he gets approached every day. But you got to think, this is a guy, he's on TV. I think statistics said like 2-3 hours every day. That's no matter where you are in the world, like, bro. I mean, or in America, he's on TV.
Yeah.
Right, but I say this all the time. He's been a content creator for 35 years since before it was cool, bro. Like he has.
Shout out to UPN. UPN
bro.
days.
He got man. Come on, right?
Yeah.
So he gets approached with so much stuff that it's like what I learned from him is like after he's Nike, but he is Phil Knight and he is the Nike check. He is the swoosh, so it's different, right? So how I maneuver with him, I have to be extremely particular. What the conversation I got with y'all, I have to be extremely particular because at the end of the day, I'm a representation of his brand. So he gets approached with stuff all the time, but it's because he's such a blue chip brand and he has the market. We talked to, I think, 400 million people weekly through all our platforms, TV, digital. So
radio.
He has his number one radio show for 20 years. He's in 115 different markets. I think 10 million people a day. Insane. Family Feuds, 45 million people a week. Syndication, Celebrity Family Feuds, the number one show. We just did Judge Steve Harvey, which is my
putting that up, and it looked like it's something, man.
So that's an associate producer on that. Shout out to Brandon Williams, him and Mr. Harvey, the EPs on that. You know, I'm proud of my people. But first ever primetime Judge show. Season 2 drops January.
It's like Judge Brown or like
Judge Steve Harvey.
Talk
man.
about it.
This Judge Steve Harvey. Hey man, clip. My line gonna be clip this up, man. So listen, Judge Steve Harvey, People's Court. He's handling business. He do law, but he do it his way.
In my courtroom,
drop the clip. I'll get the clip cleared, man. Put the clip in the episode. Drop that clip in the episode. Sure. So we got Judge Steve Harvey. He's one, and that deal is so important because in the earlier parts of his career, he really didn't care too much about ownership. And I'm really blessed to say that like I've been able to participate in the Steve Harvey era where it's been nothing but ownership. So I'm getting to see the importance of equity and closing deals. And Judge Steve Harvey is so major. EYO just posted this. He's 50-50 with ABC. Like it's unprecedented.
Said that in the best fest.
Yeah, I'm broke down like we even. So every time they get paid, we're gonna get paid. Like the messed up part about it, he didn't own the Steve Harvey the first Steve Harvey talk show. He didn't own the Steve Harvey show on UPN. He don't own Family Feud. It's a 25-something-year-old entity. So the most you can do is get them to pay you a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
But with Judge Steve Harvey, he's the owner that I told y'all. Remember the format we just talked about. Exactly. He owns the format.
There it is.
He owns the idea. If they go do it in another language, he get paid. He gets advertised. He's a part of all that. And I was blessed to say that, like, I got to work with Brandon on that first-hand front line, you know what I'm saying? So
That experience.
yeah, that experience is like position, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because he does all that, yes, opportunities get presented to him out the wazoo.
That's crazy.
I did want to touch on the fact that, you spoke to Mr. Harvey and his ambition and his journey, right? I really want to ask you, what is, not your end goal, because I'm not sure that anybody really has an end goal, right? But what is your big goal, right? What is Thabiti's, next 10, 15-year plan like? Do you want, 100% ownership of what do you have going on? Like, what is your vision in that?
That's a great question, man. So I just turned 30. I've been working for Mr. Harvey now 7 years, 8 years. Right now, I'm living in my peace. Like, I'm always preparing and working towards things. But my main goal that I told Mr. Harvey, I want to make him $1 billion. Yeah. So I'm gonna stick towards that, and we made some progress.
Yes, sir.
Nowhere close to the billion, but we made some progress. That I'm not ashamed of at all. And I just want to help him, man. That's my best friend's father. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm helping him. I'm helping my best friend. I'm helping his family. Like, I'm being real. I'm holding down.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I know I'm looking out for him. It's like, dang, I want to make sure whoever else is around is looking out for him like this, right? So it's like I'm extremely vested. So that's on the Steve Harvey front. Just continue to help him grow these businesses internationally, nationally. And of course, through that, right, it's like, I've built a reputation for myself. I think 4 or 5 people have tried to hire me from Mr. Harvey right now, but I got this mentality like, you got to lead the dance with the same person who brought you. Because if you lead the dance with someone who ain't bring you, they ain't gonna treat you the same. Once that dance over, you might not have no ride home. You ain't know he rode the bus to the dance. He don't got the car. You know what I'm saying?
That's a bar.
He don't got the crib.
It's a
You
bar.
know what I'm saying? So,
It's a bar.
and then at the end of the day, that loyalty and that stuff really pays off, right? Because it's like, he sees I'm loyal. He sees I'm not taking these jobs. He sees I'm really here for him. Now he's gonna put me in an opportunity to win, right? So if I make him $100 million, you don't think he gonna give me 10? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, now when I got that 10, I'm still building his stuff. But he told me verbatim, sometimes you got to help someone else build their dreams to finance yours.
Say that one more time.
Sometimes you got to help someone else build their dreams to finance yours.
Damn.
And like the best part of working for Steve Harvey is just like, I get great money. I get amazing opportunities and a network of connections. But the truth of it is, like, I'm in dream building school every day. Like, I'm working with probably the biggest motivational speaker on the planet, honestly, right? And that's really who he is and his character and his story is just so real. So like I was telling y'all, like just being in that school, if you really listen and learn, there's no way you can't be successful. You know what I'm saying? Chad and Joe from 85, they worked in the same office with me. They took those principles and applied it. Now 85 South's one of the biggest platforms, media entities out there.
Shout out to them big time.
That's who y'all need to get on here too, Chad. He's super dope.
Definitely.
But it's just like, like I get motivated. I get bars and games every day. So it's also like I'm gonna build my stuff up while I'm working for him, and I'm gonna continue to do it. So I got the Stephens group, and Mr. Harvey's the type of person he wants you to continue to be an entrepreneur. Yep. He doesn't want anyone to work for him forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Ellie. Ellie's about to be one of the biggest stylists in the world. But shout out my boy Ellie Karamo, Ellie 30, man. Gonna be one of the biggest stylists in the world. And Mr. Harvey knows that, but he puts people in positions to catapult his ring. So, and I might not have any plans on leaving, but he's putting me in a position that if I had to or do whatever, that it'll be a catapult, right?
Exactly.
So that's on the Steve Harvey side. And for me, it's just I'm gonna keep building the Stephens group, man. Everything I do for Mr. Harvey, I essentially do for myself. So strategy, consulting, we do bookings, brand and operation, management and development, business development. I had investing on there, like we invest in businesses, but I probably need to take that off the website because everyone wants me to teach them how to invest, and they don't have enough money. Respectfully, like not even saying it's not even worth my time. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all do, I'll just point them into the proper people. But on my personal side, man, just the Stephens group, I was kind of telling you all, serial entrepreneur. So Mr. Harvey's like gracious enough to let me co-invest with him. So that's smart money. Why would I do that? I'm investing with a brand that I know is going to blow something up 20,000x. So if I invest 10,000, I know it can be 150,000 in a year. Yes,
no
I'm gonna do it,
brainer,
right?
No brainer.
So I get to co-invest with him, and then from there, it's that's kind of, he allows us to participate. If you create new ways to make money and things like that. He'll allow you to, get equity, percentage, profit shares, and things like that. So he really positions anyone who's smart in our company. There's no way that you can't be successful because he's kind of positioning you to catapult.
Yeah.
And then from there, I just take those funds, man. A serial entrepreneur. I got this company, Sight to See, which is like my media back end production company. So that's why I know all this stuff. And underneath there, we started this company, Off the Leash Media. So,
Plug it,
man.
plug it.
Off the Leash.
Yeah, go ahead, plug that jump.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Off the leash, man. Tap in.
Offtheleashmedia.com, man. Patreon.com/offtheleashmedia. Basically, Off the Leash. Think of a Bleacher Report meets French Bulldogs and bullies, man. So the bully community is a big community. I partner with Justin Crawford, Cash Money Millionaires on Instagram, Admiral Club Exotics, and Isaac Sokovia, Freedom Frenchies. And they're two of the biggest breeders in the country. They probably each do between 5 and 10 million easily a year, have some of the most expensive, dogs in the market. And I just wanted to partner with them. I told you, like, we started this August 9th. Is doing extremely well. If you're interested in learning about breeding, interested to learn how to get into it, if you just love dogs, if you're a breeder, if you want to connect, find people to connect with, for transactions, it's kind of the perfect place. So doing that, that's taking up a lot of my time now because it's like a recent startup.
Right.
The goal is kind of set up to run itself, and then next 90 days to be like self-functioning. Then outside of that, man, I'm like consulting clients. Getting into real estate. I'm gonna do some stuff with Beyond Win whenever he calls me in Cleveland.
We did something with him at InvestFest for like a 30-second.
Nah, he's a real one, man. Beyond's a real one, man. Salute to him, and I'm learning so much from him, just about real estate in Cleveland in particular.
Yeah.
And the opportunity. So then it's like, take my money and meet people like him who'll tell you how to buy a house or 10,000, 30,000, put another 30 into it. So now, it's building on my portfolios, man. But so. Yeah. I don't know, man, where the world's going to take me. Yeah, bro. I'm trying to Steve Harvey my stuff on up.
Yeah. We learn from the leaders, and I think you said a great quote with it, and that could be the quote of the day, where you were saying, to be a great leader, you got to be a great follower. And you were saying that on you, but like you have to follow a great leader.
Yeah.
So bro. That's huge, man. And you got the blueprint where you're there, and now it's like, hey, we got you here. This is the game, and it's just like it trickles down. So who can we pass it on to next?
Bro, each one teach one.
Exactly.
Real, each one teach one.
No, you literally said in the car, and I know we're going to wrap up in a second.
Yeah.
You literally said in the car, man, is that you soaked up all this game from the OGs that you've been around, right?
Yeah.
And it's a blessing for us to even sit around and be talking to you.
First off, no, it ain't. Appreciate it.
It is.
No, because you were dropping so many gems.
That's
man.
crazy, bro, because I just feel like that's the fun part about it. Like, and y'all gonna go talk to somebody, and y'all gonna say some stuff.
Same
and
thing.
you're gonna be like, they're like, dang, that's deep. You be like, nah, bro, this just... It's crazy.
It's the growth, man.
Yeah.
It's the growth.
It's levels.
So again, bro.
Well, we'll end it with this then. I guess, getting you out of here, and this is just action. If there's something that you haven't discussed already that you're taking action on, I think this is prominent, to end it with. What's something that you're taking action on right now?
So right now I'm putting together this major golf tournament.
There it is.
Yeah, and it's taking up a lot of time. My phone's been blowing up right now. Celebrities are really hard to work with.
Yep.
Off the Leash Media, man, we got the Patreon. Tune in. Offtheleashmedia.com offtheleashmedia.com, patreon.com/offtheleashmedia. And then just tap in, man, at Thabiti on Instagram, the Stephens Group. A lot of people ask me to sell courses and stuff. I'm probably not because I ain't got the time. Man. But I do love helping people. I do love talking to people. And at the end of the day, man, like, this shit hard. Like, this shit gonna be hard. I don't care. It might look easy, bro. Like, I literally got on a plane. They'll tell you it was hard putting all this together. This shit's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be worth it, like, if you really want it. So, like if anything, bro, just look at me like, there is hope, bro. The hope. Know it. That hope's out there. This hope's real. Like, it's hard. You gotta put in work. Everybody in here working. Like, this shit hard. It ain't gonna be easy, man. And honestly, my last piece of advice, I said this at the last InvestFest, but, like, we not in any position right now to turn down any money that's not, like, disrespecting our morals, bro. Like, any amount of respectable money, like, why are you turning down a $200 because you too good to go cut someone grass for $200? Nah, fuck it. Go pay someone $20 and go get that $180. Like, there's ways to make it happen. Ooh. But we got to think about that, right? Like, yeah, we not too good at, like, people be too good to turn down money. A lot of times people be like, how did you get to where you're going? Dog, because I wasn't turning down nothing. Like, one thing everybody in my company know about me, when they call me, I'm a getter doner. They call me to get it done. Whether it's going to get some coffee, whether it's someone doesn't know. And I get pulled into so many projects that I don't know shit about because people know that my work ethic is going to get it done, bro. Like, don't be too good for nothing. Like, most people I done passed up thought they was too good to carry this bag or whatever, but they don't know carrying that bag gonna have you in the last row of a car with 3 of the richest people in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah,
happens
bro.
for a reason.
Damn, man, people be too good, dog. It's crazy.
Hey, man. Well, appreciate you having me. We probably say this, you know,
Hey, I appreciate y'all, man.
30 times.
And it's looking good.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
off the leash media.
Off the leash media.
Hey, these actually my hoodies, man.
Yeah, and
Hey.
so what y'all give it to you.
So what y'all don't know, the real me, and everybody would tell you like I'm the one. Like all my partners be like, BD, stop trying to tell this stripper how to make her 125,000 stretch, or stop. Like I really care about small business and business people, and like it's really what I love. So when they gave me the hoodie, I was like, bro, where my hoodie at?
Yeah.
And he was like, it's in the car. I was like, no, we need to put this hoodie on the
the brand
table,
name.
bro.
Yeah,
So
product placement.
take them clips of me first organizing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be on the first show.
Tim had to come through and get us right with the hooks, and I was like, appreciate it. But man, yeah, this the real me. So buy his merch, man.
Please.
We'll have it linked in the description. Again, man, appreciate you.
Love.
Also, what they didn't tell y'all is they also offer video editing services, right? So a lot of y'all out here need these clips. A lot of these people need content, right? But a lot of people don't have the time. Video editors are the hardest people to come about. I just told you this. I hire them all the time, you know, working in digital and in TV. So if y'all need video editing services, quick 15-second, 30-second, 90-second videos, man, hit them up. They're adding a new vertical to their business right now. So they do photo shoots, videos, sporting events, but really just the editing. If you have your own content, just send it to them. They'll get you right. They'll get you your video clips, your whole video. And they also offer, like, if you want to get your podcast uploaded and edited, they'll do that too. And my company, Sight to See, does that too. So I was really just saying they do all the stuff my company does because they can do it in the Richmond, Virginia area, man.
Yeah,
So,
we got Richmond on
shout
lock.
out, man.
Yeah, shout out to the beat, man.
And follow me and shout out to Kayla, man.
Shout out
She
to
the
Edie. We'll
real
have
boss.
all the socials on there. We'll find Kayla. We'll put all
Yeah.
that on there as well, man. This is the Just Action Podcast. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Peace.
Nah, this was beautiful.
Appreciate
This was beautiful. It looks so